Okay, we will go ahead and get started. Again, thank you for being here with us this afternoon. My name is Ben Knorr. I am the Vice President of Strategic Initiatives for the Texas Restaurant Association. And today we have Workstream talking about building an HR tech stack for the hourly workforce. And I'm pleased to be sitting here today with Marcelo Pinto. He's with Workstream, has been with them for about 3 years now. He's originally from Brazil, and he lives in Utah, and he has 5 kids. So a little interesting fact about him. We found that today's topic is very important, especially with the high turnover rate in the restaurant industry. And so, it's not only my job, but the rest of the TRA's team's job to help provide solutions to our members that can help alleviate these pain points to our members. And so we partnered with Workstream a few years ago to really alleviate some of these issues that we'll be talking about today, and they can help talk more about the HR tech stack for your restaurant and how that can help with these hourly workforce struggles. And so without further ado, I will pass this over to Marcelo and let him kick us off. Couple of housekeeping items. Please note that this webinar is being recorded, and we'll put this on our YouTube channel after. And then if you wish, you can ask questions during the presentation. You can drop them in the chat and we'll get to them accordingly. So Marcelo, I'll kick it off to you.
All right, thank you, Ben. Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. It's been great to be part of the TRA, also the TRA member, the board member as well. We just came back from Texas for the TRA board member conference, and it was amazing to be there, just like helping you guys, supporting you guys, and also like having the opportunity to talk to owners as well. It's such a great opportunity always to be present and talk to in person, so we can understand, things that it's working better, it's working good, but also like things that could be done a little bit different. And super glad that we put this time together to talk about the HR tech stack for hourly workforce. So as Ben mentioned, my name is Marcelo Pinto. I'm one of the account executive here with Workstream. I've been working with Workstream 3+ years, almost 4 years. And it's been great to see how much we grow as a company together with every brand. One thing that we do super good at Workstream, it's listen to our customers. And that's the reason we were adding more and more products in order to fulfill everything that, you guys have to go through. Another thing that I kind of liked about this industry, it's because restaurant, it's so present in every day. Like, you guys have to be open 7 days a week. There's a lot of common challenges. And one thing that I've been learning through these years, it's to learn what is the most challenge that you guys have to face. And then it's so good to be in a position to have a solution that most of the case brings a solution for this main issues or main challenges that you guys have to go through. Feel free to take a picture of this screen so you have my email. I will put it at the end again. So the idea of this webinar is just to present a little bit more about what is the HR tech stack, but also we'll be glad to do one-on-one later for which one of you guys, so we can discuss a little bit more detail on your business and how this tech stack solution could bring to all of you guys. So the agenda today will be more simple. So why your tech stack matters, what is the key functions of your HR tech stack, what is the value of all-in-one, and then possible solutions that Workstream will bring based on these topics. So why tech stack matters. So starting with what is HR tech stack? And this is a good question that maybe one of you guys are asking, but potentially is a combination of software tools and a platform that actually helps you manage your HR tasks. One thing that I have an opportunity every single day is talk to restaurant owners. And believe me, there's still people using none of platform or zero software, still doing everything manual. And there's other people who are using portion of softwares and it's still some part still manual. Some cases that you guys have payroll software and also of course a POS, but not using any software or anything for the hiring or either onboarding. It's still using paper, I-9, W-4, and this is still in 2024, but there's still people using manual process. And this, if you think about this process manual, it requires time consuming for either the owner, but also for the GM. Sometimes I also hear from owners saying, I don't care. I mean, I'm not spending my time, but actually the GM is spending those times. But eventually, if you think about the GM, every time that he have to go and do manual tasks, basically is also time of this GM out of the business. So instead of this GM spending and investing this time with actually the team players, and also like managing actually the store and being right there with the employees, supporting them, they have to go and be at the office actually going through these manual tasks. So the idea of the HR tech stack is centralizing this all in one. So having this streamlined process and having a multiple tools, and also a platform, a single platform that will manage all this HR tasks, as I mentioned. So the key functions of the HR tech stack, if you think about the entire process, it would be starting from the hiring and onboarding, how you actually do this process, how much automated this process is, so we can potentially save time and also save money on the hiring and onboarding part. Of course, the time and attendance and shift scheduling, this is very important nowadays. So you know exactly how many hours your employees are working, what shifts they are working, and how you navigate, how you create this process where your employees, they can choose the time to work and also the shift they're working. This will save a lot of the GM time as well. And you make sure that you have enough employees working to fulfill your customers. Payroll and benefits, this is very also important. Of course, employees don't work for free, so they need to be paid. And there, as I mentioned before, there's still like a lot of different processes. Owners who does manually using QuickBooks, or they use a CPA to do it. But eventually there's always a platform to process the payroll, but also like how you project the benefits to your employees too. This is also goes towards retention and helps your employees wants to work for you if you provide benefits as well. And having one platform to streamline this process, not only paying, but also providing a chance to choose benefits that works best for him and also their families. This is super important. And last but not least is the employee experience. Of course, later today, I'm going to explore a little bit more about that, but this is becoming more and more important. The employee experience, how this is very, very related to retention. Every conference that I have the opportunity to go, retention is such a big part. It's becoming a big part of the conversation, how you retain your employees, how you create this better environment for them to work for you. And this goes towards avoiding to start the process every time from hiring, onboarding again. Every time you have to go, every time you have to replace an employee and having to go through hiring and onboarding again, there's a lot of time consuming, but there's also a lot of money involved on this training, timing from your GM on this process as well. So I'm going to explore about that, but this is the main key functions of the HR tech stack. One thing that before I start going through point by point, I would love for you guys to think about your current process right now. What you have in terms of like functionality, what you have in terms of process. Think about your process, if it's actually very streamlined, if you have to transfer one information to another software, all this time consumer from either you or your GM. Think about your process from hire to pay versus what I'm going to present right now. So this will be a good example for you, and very easy way to understand your current process versus what could be done better using a tech stack. So starting with hiring and onboarding. So the importance of the ATS, which is the applicant track system, this is very important. Believe me, even in 2024 in our days, a lot of people are not using an ATS yet. So they still go manually going Indeed or some other job boards and trying to just put in their jobs right there, jobs that they are in need. And there's finding people, it's not a big issue, but the issue is what happens when someone apply for a job. There's still very manual process where you guys, owners or GMs, they have to go to the office, open the computer, and they still try to screen applicants, see if these applicants are qualified based on what you're looking for. And if they are, you have to kind of play phone tags, trying to engage with applicant. And we learned from an NRA this year, specifically talking about engagement. We learned it takes even 2 hours for a single owner or a GM to engage with an applicant, you drop your chance by 50%. Basically, in our days, there's so many options, so many restaurants, and so many other competitors that your applicants are also applying several other places. So the idea is how fast you engage with your applicant, and having a ATS, it will allow applicants to self-serve. So you want to, it doesn't matter from where your applicants are coming from job posting platforms, or either like QR code, text to apply, careers page. It doesn't matter from where they're coming from. You want them to come to the same funnel, and having a chance to engage faster and provide a scheduling, self-serve. This is the better way in our days to compete with your competitors and actually hire this applicant faster than your competitor as well. Speaking of onboarding as well, providing a security at this point, it's super important. Having a background check integrated with your onboarding, it's huge in our days. Most business are still required to go through a background check. So the idea also to create this streamlined process is having this background check part of your hiring or either onboarding process. So you don't have to transfer or stop your process in the middle to go to a different process or different software in order to run a background check. So having this integrated to your ATS is crucial, which will eliminate this process of spending time on the process of the background check. And as I mentioned as well, still going from paper I-9 and W-4, having as we listen here, and one word is digital. Having everything as a digital version, DocuSign, so it will be much more friendly to your side, how you manage people are in the progress of signing those documents, but also simplifying the process for your candidates, where they can simply sign those documents as a DocuSign, and DocuSign give them a chance to either sign from their computer, or most case scenarios, they can even use the cell phone and signing those documents using fingerprint.
Marcelo, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So going back to the onboarding experience, you mentioned that a bad onboarding process can leave a negative impression on new hires. What are some positive impacts that a great onboarding experience can provide to your new hire?
Yeah, good question. So as you said, this better experience have been put in place very big in the process. And majorly it's because, especially in a restaurant side, there's a lot of people applying for the first time or having their first time working in the place. 15 years old, 16 years old. And that's the first time as well for them having to go through those I-9s and W-4s and very complicated documents to go through. So digitalizing those documents also provides a better experience for the candidate side, because we let them know exactly where they need to fill out or where they need to sign those documents. I remember my first time when I was going through those documents, especially in the I-9, I had no clue what checkbox I need to go for, and also like what do I need to provide in terms of information. And simplifying as a DocuSign will create this better experience for the candidate side, but also for you guys as an owner as well. Basically, because we let you know who are in progress or who is still in progress, or who actually completed it all. And believe me, there's still a lot of people who are not using the platform. They are allowing people to start working, but maybe this person is still missing an I-9. So we support to be compliant. We want to make sure that you guys are compliant, and also you are give them a chance to start working, but when everything gets signed and properly in a properly way. Okay, so moving forward here to the time and attendance. This is crucial. A lot of the time and attendance, it's included with the POS, which is fine and which is okay. So, but there's also a lot of people who are still not using the time and attendance, and also this creates a very complicated way and manual task in order to process your payroll. If you don't have this in a streamlined process or not very integrated process, so basically you have to enter those time manually to the payroll process, where it takes hours and hours. I just came back from another conference where I was talking in person to an owner, and this person shared with me that it takes about 2 to 3 days in order to complete the payroll process. Just thinking of that, it's just like a lot of time consuming to either the owner to reveal, but also like the manager, which there would be invested this time actually to the business to actually be in the floor working with the employees, but they actually have to go to the office in order to do these manual tasks. Scheduling and shift manage as well. So the important is to allow employees to easily trade shift in a very practical way. And also, it will set rules and preferences where they will be putting this in ahead of time. This saves a lot of the manager time, so they don't have to figure it out later on when this employee will be able to work in a week. So just providing a streamlined process where your employees will be able to self creating this scheduling and shift. It will help managing this process as well. And the employee experience, I want to explore a little bit more about this because this is a great feedbacks that I get every time I talk to an owner. Believe me, there's a lot of people that are not using any method in order to get employees satisfaction. So we've learned from conferences and hearing speakers talking about retention, how important it is to get this data from your employees so you can create this better environment for them to work for you. Every time that you run a surveys, so surveys is a great tool for you to just simply send every time they get on board, or you can send a single pulse at the end of the week or end of the day, or even like end of the month. So just simple insights that you can send questions where you can learn from your employees what could be done better, or what is actually working well, so you can explore a little bit more about that process that it's working better for your business. And learning from your employees, it's so crucial because you're also telling your employees and showing to your employees that you really care about what they're saying, that you listen to them, so then you can create this better environment for them. Feedbacks, as I mentioned, we're getting from our customers using surveys. It's basically they're now able to learn more from them, and they can learn, especially when there's something that it's not being done correctly. And there's a lot of employees talking about this same issue, so they can evaluate, they can change this process, and just making this change, you are, as well as I mentioned, you are showing to your employees that you really listen to them, you care about their opinion, and then you can create this better environment. And surveys is the best way to get feedbacks from them. Also recognizing the platform. So this is also a very good way in order to create this easy way to celebrate employees' birthday, anniversaries, and things like how a lot of milestones that they have in terms of for them in order to grow as an employee in a company. So the platform also reminds them and reminds you guys when these recognitions are about to come. And last but not least is the payroll and benefits. As I mentioned, people don't work for free. So this is having this platform where everything is integrated. It will create this streamlined process where you save time. As I mentioned as well, Instead of like entering manual hours or entering manual benefits every payroll, this takes a lot of hours and time. So having this HR tech stack will provide less data transferring, where everything will be integrated and it will save you guys time, and time is money, as we know. So we will save your money after all. So the idea is just to provide a simplified and very concise way in order to pull your hourlies and pay your employees in a very streamlined process. So the value of all-in-one, and this is the most as I'm mentioning here. So the all-in-one is the answer for the HR tech stack. Having a streamlined process from hire to pay, this is exactly how we'll eliminate this manual tasks, and also how he will do all these tasks in a very speedy way. The all-in-one HR platforms, it will handle this instead of using multiple logins, so you can centralize everything in one. Less data transfer, so you don't have to export and import files. And it will also combine all the functionalities of the HR in one platform, in one under roof, if that makes sense. And now, why Workstream? So Workstream is a platform that actually was built specifically for restaurants and also to help hourly workforce. One thing that we've learning every time we talked to owners is a lot of softwares in our days were not built for hourly workforce, and also not built for specifically restaurants. They are working for multiples industries, but they're not focused on the restaurants. We built our restaurants. I mean, we built our platform based on restaurants in 2017, and from that point to today, we're learning more and more from our customers, hearing from our customers' feedbacks, and we're building more features in order to fulfill all the streamlined process that could be done from hire to pay. So now we are a mobile friendly, and this comes into place not only for you guys to manage everything on a go, but also for your applicants and in your employees also to go through and apply from their mobile, and also manage the shifts, clocking in and out, everything from the mobile. The impact to the business. And basically, as I mentioned, every time you need is just to consolidate again your HR responsibilities into one. So the idea is to have a simple process and one location as all-in-one. Again, as I mentioned, the idea of all-in-one is to simplify and streamline your process from hire to pay. Instead of like two different situations, instead of using some softwares for portions of what you need to do and some other areas is still doing manually, or you are using platform for pretty much everything, but you have it maybe 3-4 different softwares. In most case scenarios, they are not integrated. So you guys have to export the file and import the file to another software just because of the lack integration. The all-in-one will give you all this streamlined process in one place, in one roof, and create this less data transferred. So Workstream is all-in-one HR and payroll, which basically create this streamlined process from the hiring, onboarding, communication, also the operation, engagement. We also use the AI. We do surveys, which take care of your retention, and potentially the payroll, where we pay your employees too. Of course, we are just putting this QR code here as well, where you guys can scan with your cell phone right now. And this will pull you guys to a page that we have a little bit more concise information about the HR tech stack. Of course, the idea today was only to give you guys a great overview of what is the HR tech stack, and how you can build this all in one. What could be a possible solution for not having all this process in one locations, or solutions where you guys are still doing manually, but it could be done a little bit more automated. If you guys, of course, we're going to provide this QR code later in an email or in a post moment where we're going to maybe contact you guys. But the idea is for you guys to maybe read this this article that we have for you guys to understand a little bit more about the HR tech stack, and eventually put in a time as well with us where we can potentially learn and understand a little bit more about your process, how exactly it's working in your process from hire to pay, what is the point that it's missing or points that it's not very automated, and that could be done in a different way. Of course, I will put also my information here again, so you guys can take a picture of my email. Also, our website where you guys can make a contact with us. And again, we can put in a time and go one-on-one with you guys.
Thank you, Marcelo. We'll open it up for Q&A now. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. But while people type their questions, Marcelo, I do have a couple comments and just questions generally.
Yes.
So I know when Workstream was first created, it was more focused on the recruiting conversational software. Now that you've expanded into an HR all-in-one platform, you know, if a restaurant were to decide to choose Workstream, are they able to pick and choose which solutions they would like to sign up for, or do they have to choose everything?
Yeah, very good question. So yeah, right now we have two modules. As you mentioned, we started as an HR only in the beginning, and as I also mentioned during the webinar, one thing that we do super well is listen to our customers, and little by little we were learning that there's more that could be done. So we added the onboarding, the communication, the surveys, how you keep your records safe as well, all the compliance, and eventually the payroll. And base right now, we separated by two modules. One is the HR, which does all the hiring, onboarding, communication, records, and surveys. All this is in one module where we're going to take care of all your HR, and we also have the payroll. So customers right now, they're adding the payroll as a second module to streamline from hire to pay, but there's also an option if you don't want to add the payroll at this time, so you can have only the HR side that will streamline the process from hire to take care of your onboarding and also how you take care of your retention.
Okay, thank you. And then from your position at Workstream, where do you see a lot of restaurants struggle when it comes to any of these HR solutions?
Yeah, as I mentioned, it depends. It depends how big they are and what is the challenge they are having to go through. But most of them, they're finding, as I mentioned, turnover rate is still super high. So having to go through this process again every month or every other month, it's not only time consuming, but it's also a lot of cost involved. There's also like parts of the year that, depending in the summer or outside of the summer, depending where you are geographically, but there's some parts, some times of the year that you have to hire more than other times. And just having data in order to fulfill and understand how your business are in needs, and having an ATS and an all-in-one platform to hire faster and streamline process from the hire to onboarding and pay. This saved them a lot of time and saved their money, of course.
Awesome, thank you. Lindsay dropped a couple questions in the chat. Thank you, Lindsay. First one is, does the platform provide templates for employee and manager handbook?
It does. Every time we start an account, every time we create the account, most of the brands we are working based on templates. And even that, let's say you are a local restaurant and you don't have you're not a franchise, for example. Of course, we're not going to have your brand or your location templates, but we have a template to start. So you don't have to worry about creating a screen process or the hiring process. How we are also manage the handbooks and things like that. So of course we have templates where you can start using, but our platform has the ability to give you a chance to upload those documents that you use right now. So even that, for example, if you're not automated on board, but you have your paperwork, of course, the I-9, W-4, those common forms, we have those inside of a platform already. But if you have a specific like non-performance document or any specific document that you use right now, you have a chance to upload and create this and just turn those documents as part of your process too. But yeah. And the
Her,
implementation time frame, I'm sorry, would that be your second question?
no, I was just gonna read that question out loud, but you got it.
Yeah. So the second question about the implementation time frame. So if we talked about only the HR, so the HR, it's instantly provided access to you guys. So the process of course, going through signing the agreement, it's also a DocuSign. So a very easy and streamlined process for you to start over. But as soon as you signed, we gave instantly access for the HR. And of course, we don't give you guys also the keys in order to find out the buttons. We have a dedicated person for at least the 30 days. So for this 30 days, we have a dedicated person for the customer support that will be your point of contact to hold your hands and set up everything that you need from the HR, setting up your positions, the hiring process, the screening process, the onboarding process, all this, also the surveys. So all this that would be used on a daily basis, my dedicated person will work for the 30 days as a dedicated person. After that, we also have the customer support that would take care of every time that you are in need.
Awesome. Thank you for those great questions, Lindsay, and appreciate you being on the call. See if there's any more in here, but I'll see. I think I have one more question. Let's see here. What size restaurants is Workstream ideal for? That's another question we got.
Yeah. In the past, when we were not payroll provider, we were concentrated in a little bit more in a mid-market environment. Basically, customers with at least 5, 10 plus locations. But as soon as we became also a payroll provider, I will be honest, right now, everyone are welcome in order to use Workstream from hire to pay. 2 months ago, I helped a customer who owns a liquor store with only 2 employees, one in the morning shift and another one in a night shift. So it's only 2 employees. And just to show you guys how small business we can also support from hire to pay. And we also have customers with 200 locations. So it's just like a large group with multiples brands where we can also support in one login.
Awesome, Marcelo. Thank you.
Yep.
Let me wrap up the questions that we received from our audience today, but I did want to mention for those who are so with us, Workstream is an official partner of the Texas Restaurant Association, has been for a few years. And so if you're interested in learning more, we'll be sure to pass along Marcelo's information. His email's in the chat as well, and there'll be a follow-up email to come after this presentation. But you can also visit our website and check out our Member Benefits Center, where you can see the exclusive benefit that Workstream offers our members. But with that being said, Marcelo, thank you again for your time today. Thank you and the Workstream team for putting this together. We appreciate you and your partnership. And please, for the audience out there, be on the lookout for an email to follow up from this. So thank you again for everybody's this afternoon.